May the 19th, 2022. Guys, you're looking at an article that Tina put up on our website at bpearthwatch.com. We've been watching this for a few days, but this is from phys.org, physics.org. But it says, Mideast sandstorm snarl traffic, close schools, harm health. This is Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. This is from 2 days ago. We've got an update. But this is going on across the Middle East. The UAE has been hit. Spain has been hit. Different countries in that area. And we're going to look at this thing because it's one of the largest Saharan, they call it a Saharan air layer or dust cloud. But we've watched them each year. Usually they signal the first section of hurricane season because it indicates that the patterns are moving from Africa towards the U.S., and so that's what we're seeing. But this is one of the strongest, if not the strongest, I've seen. And guys, it's going to be here in 2 days, okay? But it said this sandstorm across the Middle East have delayed flights, closed schools, hospitalized thousands. A phenomenon experts said could worsen as climate change warps regional weather patterns. Now, I can go along with climate change, not global warming. At least they changed that, whatever name they can put on it draws the least attention. But you definitely have climate change when you have grand solar minimums getting weaker and weaker. And we know that. We've seen the the effect from volcanoes to earthquakes to droughts now and these sandstorms. We're seeing storms across the U.S. just last week. That massive straight line wind that came through just blanketing towns. Some of it gusts were at 100 miles an hour. So the weather is changing. And the sun affects our weather. Every breath of air that you feel blowing across you, every breeze, every raindrop is affected and changed and actually created by the heat from the sun. So space weather is Earth's weather. Now, it says Saudi Arabia on Tuesday became the latest country blanketed with dust that slowed traffic and made iconic towers in the capital difficult to see for more than a few hundred yards. Emergency rooms in Riyadh hospitals had received 1,285 people suffering from respiratory problems over 24 hours as a result of the sandstorm. So, guys, again, we've seen this last year. Remember this? You can feel the dust. You can see it on your cars. And when you see the sky start to have the orange glow and the light of the sun hitting the ground has an orange glow, you know that dust is there, or either you're very close to a forest fire. They're saying, the Weather Center, they are saying that surface dusty winds originating in the east and bringing the thick gray haze would continue westward toward the Muslim holy cities of Mecca and Medina. Again, this was 2 days ago. Other countries have been grappling with the problem for longer. Iraq has experienced 8 sandstorms since mid-April, fueled by soil degradation, intense droughts, and low rainfall linked to climate change. The country's latest sandstorm on Monday enveloped the capital, Baghdad, in an orange glow, sent at least 4,000 people to hospitals with breathing problems, and led to the closure of airports, schools, and public offices across the country. Guys, this is an image of a bridge in southern Iraq in the Diyarbakir province. Check it out. You don't really want to be breathing that. And of course, it's not going to be that thick here, we don't think, but the cloud is immense, one of the largest I've seen. But even if it's half this much, you want to be careful. And I remember last year it was some of the strongest that I've seen, and we were telling people in videos, be careful outside. You guys remember that, and it all is leading to hurricane season. And that's Iraq. In Iran, they announced, too, they were closing government offices and schools Tuesday, citing unhealthy weather conditions and sandstorms. The average airborne concentration of the finest and most hazardous particles, parts per million 2.5, was at 163 micrograms per cubic meter Tuesday in Tehran, according to the government website. That is 6 times the World Health Organization's recommended maximum of 25 micrograms per cubic meter. So from 25 to 163, 6 times. In Kuwait, meanwhile, air traffic at the main airport was suspended for an hour and a half due to a dust storm Monday, and marine traffic in all 3 ports remained suspended as of Tuesday afternoon. Talk about adding to the woes of a supply chain. Kuwait's Ministry of Education said classes were suspended on Tuesday but would resume the following day. The Middle East has always been battered by dust storms and sandstorms, but they have become more frequent and intense in recent years, and that is exactly what we're seeing. The trend is associated there with overgrazing and deforestation, overuse of river water, and more dams. Unseasonably, masses of dry, cold air helped explain the recent proliferation of sandstorms in eastern Syria and Iraq and the transmission to the Arabian Peninsula. Now, this is a picture of Qatar. This is 2 days ago, May 17th. This is the capital. It says sandstorms are worsening regionally because of factors including low water levels in the Tigris and the Euphrates rivers, large fluctuations in annual rainfall, and disintegrating soil. In central Riyadh on Tuesday, sand layered cars and buildings, and residents struggled to keep it out of their homes. Now let's take a look at the models. This is going from today through, I think, Saturday, May 21st. Look at the thickness of this Saharan air layer, they call it, and look how much is over Africa and the Middle East. Check that out. The Canary Islands, it's right on the edge of that. We watched those last year during the volcanoes there. But look at this, coming out of off the African coast, right where the hurricanes come, moving across. So here we are, Wednesday, May 18th. That was yesterday. Thursday, look where it's at, into the Caribbean. Now, Friday, May 20th, it's entering the Gulf. And by Saturday, you're looking at Louisiana, Texas, Mississippi will switch to the Caribbean model so you can see it a little better. Again, look at your timestamps up there. By the 21st, look along the coast, guys. Mississippi, Alabama, the peninsula, or panhandle of Florida, and but that's the darkest areas, but expands all the way to Memphis, Tennessee. Check it out as far as that layer. Now we will keep an eye on that and see what Sunday. Tomorrow they will have the prediction for Sunday. Also, the 2 models that we watch the most during hurricane season are predicting some action starting along the Caribbean. The Canadian model shows it trying to get into the Pacific Ocean and then maybe coming back on land. But if we look at the NavGem model here, the Navy model, it's showing this low pressure staying in the Caribbean. And right here it is just south or just east of the Yucatan. Check that out. And we mentioned it that in a video 4 or 5 days ago that this week we may start to see some development in this area. We were looking at the GFS model then, but now, again, the Navy model and the CMC are showing some type of tropical event. And guys, if you remember watching the videos for the last few years over the hurricanes, this Saharan dust layer will dampen a hurricane down. In other words, as the moisture is absorbed by the sand cloud, then that takes the energy away from the hurricanes. But this one is kind of out in front of this dust storm is out in front of anything coming from off the African coast, and we'll see how it affects this possible tropical development here. Notice this is the date on this is May the 26th, where that's at. So we're still out a week away. The sand, it may come in behind it if it develops at all. They're just saying that it looks like there's a chance of development. It would be early because we're still 11 days away from the official beginning, June 1st, of hurricane season. But we're going to watch this, guys. I want to do one more thing. I want to take a look at the satellite images themselves over the Atlantic Ocean. This is current images. You're looking at the entire side of the planet. And here, coming off the coast of Africa, you can see the beginning of this storm. It's going to intensify, and there's going to be areas inside that storm that are thicker than others. And notice, again, when it gets into the Gulf of Mexico, how it's going to collect along the coastlines as far as the intensity by Saturday. Again, as the sun rises, you can see this cloud, and it looks thick, and just like in the modeling. And coming off of Africa, it's even thicker. If you look just there, again, south of the Lesser Antilles, where these hurricanes start coming off of the African coast as hurricane season advances through June and July. But guys, it's a heads up on this. Be aware that starting Saturday, now probably late Friday, southern Florida, we'll keep an eye on it. But starting this weekend, be careful outside. There's going to be a lot of people boating, golfing, working, and just be careful. Be aware of it. It has hospitalized people in the Middle East already. And don't forget, this afternoon at 3:30 p.m. Central, that'll be 4:30 on the East Coast, 2:30 Mountain, 1:30 over on the West Coast, we're going to do a radio show. I'm going to call in to Derek Bros. Him and his wife Malia will be hosting it. It's on his YouTube channel, The Global Witness. There's a guest list that's in the video before this. It's going to be about 5 or 6 folks. A lot of us have been, and a lot of you have been keeping our own the things that are coming down upon us, and the tribulation of man by man. So each one of us will have different aspects of it. So there may be a lot of information collectively that's going to be on that show. I would suggest going there. I'll put a link below, and the link is also in the video before this one with the guest list. And you can go there and hit the reminder and subscribe to Derek's channel, The Global Witness. Guys, we're watching it. You watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe.